Hey guys, what's going on? This is your boy David Chen on another edition of Pananomics, New York Weekly's #1 podcast for 2020. And don't forget, we will be on Reach TV soon in 124 airports in 3 countries and hopefully 6 countries coming up. Today, I have a hometown friend of mine, the one and only Lavell Jones. How you doing, my friend?
Good. How you doing?
How's everything been?
Been good.
First off, I love that shirt.
Thank you, man. I'm a huge Kobe fan. If I have an idol, which I don't like the word idol, but like idol, that's Kobe Bryant for sure. He was, since I was a kid, man, he's changed my life.
I love Kobe, man. I think, the recently I just saw a video where he was like 17 years old and he was talking about how nobody wanted to go to party. Mm-hmm. So he would sit there and he would just sit there and he would just shoot. And he became great. And unfortunately, he died far too young, but it was that Mamba mentality, right? That mentality of never giving, quitting.
Exactly.
You
can apply to anything, any profession, anything you're in. Yeah.
All the time. That's a good template. And with that, what made you love Kobe so much and things that you're doing?
Man, just his mentality, his Mamba mentality, his mindset, his never giving up. When the whole world was against him, everything seemed just all of LA felt Kobe Bryant. You're not a Laker fan if you don't know that Kobe feeling, which unfortunately will never be the same. I'm a huge Laker fan. I saw the game yesterday. It was horrible for us, but Kobe is just that man who I was telling my friend yesterday. I remember we lost to the Phoenix Suns by 40 in the playoffs with Kobe, and Kobe wasn't having the next game. He came out and we killed it. So that's just he's just really inspired a lot of things in my life, the way I actually live. And sometimes I'm working out or sometimes I'm doing something, I want to be tired, or I just tell myself like, Kobe want to do that shit.
Yeah, I love that because, AC Green was on our show and AC won his first championship with Kobe, man. Yep. And I told AC how I became a Lakers fan was the first basketball game I ever watched. I had been 5 years old. I was in Taiwan where I was born, and there was a hook shot by a guy named Jabbar. Mm-hmm. My dad kept saying Jabbar, which in Taiwanese means I'm full, and I'm like, we haven't even eaten yet. And I was watching the championship between the Lakers and the Celtics, and in black and white television, a little village, and I saw AC Green there. And years later, AC's my partner, right? So we talk about Kobe, and I'm saying this, I'm getting chills.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And he's talking about his mentality. And he said the one thing was the guy would just work harder than everyone else. He wouldn't quit, man. And, we see that with what you've done in music, right? You recently had an awesome special on PBS, right? Tell us a little about your music and tell us a little about what you did at PBS.
Yeah, I've been, doing the music for a while, like a long time, longer than people would expect or longer than people, know, to be honest with you. Yeah, I've just been working, pretty much just doing what Kobe would do, just, never quitting, and just going hard each day, like you have something to prove, like, nothing's given to you, So, and the PBS thing, thankfully, I was given the opportunity to be on PBS with my live band, and we did an actual, live performance on TV, which I've been on TV before, which is cool, but I've never performed on TV, which was, I'm not gonna lie, I was super nervous. I'm usually nervous about everything I do before I do. Even this, I was telling my lady, I was like, I'm kind of nervous, but I always liked that at first, but usually I just, just do it, and it happens, I can't, be nervous or, I'm a shy person. People don't know I'm a shy person, but, yeah, I'm just super grateful that we were able to do that special, because I don't have a manager. I'm not signed or anything like that. Everything I do is independent. So, just to even put that on, like if I have a resume or whatever, if you're looking at that, that's just a really, a great accomplishment to me. You know what I'm saying? So
it's an amazing accomplishment, man. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, I don't have a manager either, right? Like, kind of it's just me kind of going through the motions and kind of learning it, right? And what I really admire about you, especially the things that I've seen and heard from, is, you're a family man, right? Sure. Family first, and you take good care of your family, but you're still following your dreams and inspiring. And for you to reach out to PBS, like, it takes a lot of guts. Like, I don't think people realize how hard this is, like, because the no's suck. Oh yeah. Right. The no's are no fun. Right. But you seem to have continued to do that and not have that fear. And I think that's what makes it super amazing.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. We actually were trying to do some with PBS. I think it was 2 times before that. We had something scheduled, but it just got canceled and then it got pushed back, but months in advance. So it's like, people don't know that, but it should have been like a year and a half or a year ago. But I'm grateful it happened the time it did, because the album had just came out and, everything just lined up, which everything happens for a reason. So
I love your purpose, man. I mean, I think a lot of times, even with me, when I do business, people don't realize that like things never go as they're supposed to be planned.
Mm-hmm.
And you almost start wondering if it's worth it. Right. And if you're really that good and that smart. Even I go through that a lot too. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, but like even me know I have number one, this, that. I still question if I'm smart enough. But I think that humility is that same mama mentality that we're talking about, because you strive to be better and you're just appreciative. And I love hearing that story. And, we talked a little bit about Riot 10, our friend Chris, he tells the story on the podcast when he did it was he had basically agreed to do something with DJ Paul, and it took 6 years for fruition to actually happen. So for 6 years, he might have told his boys, and then years just passed, and it goes from there, right? Mm-hmm. How do you go through, when you're going through that type of adversity, keep positive and keep focusing on your goals?
I would say maybe it's two things. One thing is just if you want it bad enough, you won't give up on it. If that's really what you want to do, like I had posted a video of the PBS performance where I did a song called Toast that I had actually originally released in 2013. And it's 2021 and I had performed it on PBS, a month or two ago. So I had put like a side-by-side of the performance and then the music video in 2013 when I had like an afro and didn't have the hair like this. So, and somebody commented basically like, it's crazy to see that you've gone this far, like just never gave up. I remember in 2013 when you're doing, and it's basically that, just never giving up at all, because it's like you said, it never goes as planned. You got to roll with the punches pretty much, and just learn as you go. And tell me the second half of the question again.
And the second half of the question is, what is your motivation to keep going?
My motivation, honestly, I said there was two parts. And the second part is pretty much, I always tell like my engineer, sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to write any music for a while. I'm just going to chill out for a little bit. And since I was a kid, I always remember every time I would tell myself that eventually, even when I wasn't trying to, it would just come back to that, So it's not even, it's part of the first half of wanting to, have this dream and wanting to do this. But also it's just, I feel like I'm born to do this because everything I do, it just full circle comes right back to it, And this obviously isn't the only venture I'm trying to do in life, but, this is what gets the ball rolling, if you will, and everything I do, it just comes back to it. So just those two, really.
It's amazing. I mean, passion is one of those things that people talk about, right? And but the thing about being passionate is you got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And to maintain your passion, you have to have fun. But when you're getting the no's, it sucks. Like, it just sucks. Like, I'm telling everyone out there right now, it sucks. Everyone gets a no. No one gets the way you want to do it. It's not fun. Don't be fooled on my Instagram or anything else. There's a lot of no's in this world.
Yeah.
For me, when I keep doing the motivation, I heard this once from one of my business partners, David Meltzer. He says, 90% of the people get to 90% and they quit. And then 50% of those people get to 95% and they quit. And then the 1% gets to 100% and they actually made it, Yep. And the old adage is you keep doing it and you keep trying it. But what you just said is important. What you said is you still have to adapt and change while still maintaining your core, right? Do you find that fundamentally your process in life and music when you're writing what you're writing, or how do you write music that makes it feel so unique in your perspective?
I think, that the industry I'm in is so oversaturated that it's kind of wild. I understand from outside looking in of, say, a parent or a family member saying, oh, you want to be a musician? That's like crazy because so many people want to do it. But what I would say from my experience is just I've always wrote music just from a point of being real, never trying to adapt to what's out there or never trying to appease. And when I first did music when I was a kid, it was never, oh, I'm gonna be famous, or that was eventually, that was there, but it was when it was the realness of it. When I was writing music, was like therapeutic for real, and I'm just blessed that people started to like it. So I just know that if I just stay true to that and just stay true to, all the artists you look at nowadays, there's a million artists, but there's a core number of artists that have been around, the Jay-Z's, the J. Cole's, have been around for years through all this music that's, music adapts and changes forever. There's always, we were back in the Laffy Taffy days back in the day, right? And it's not there now, right? But certain rappers, if we're just going to go rap, they were around back then and they're still around now, So it's just and those are the ones who really people relate to. They're real, So that's just always been my thing. Never tried to be anybody else. And I think that's just, has came to my benefit, has really helped me. So
I love that, man. When I used to have nightclubs here, we had a guy named Yo Gotti who would show up. We brought him once or twice into El Paso. So one day I'm going to this meeting with Clinton Sparks where I really want to DJ. The guy who actually got me into FaZe Clan and all that stuff.
Dang.
Clinton's my boy. And I'm having dinner at the Beverly Hills, man. And this is like, you walk by, we saw Al Pacino. First off, I see Al Pacino. Let me tell you.
Top,
let me tell you something, man. I met some people.
What?
I was so nervous, dude. Al's like 5'5", man.
Oh, man.
I didn't even ask him for a photo because I just sat there and I was like, holy cow, I've met Arnold and Snoop, but Al was Al, and that was just a whole different level, right? So then we're sitting down, we're having dinner, and in the middle of the conversation with me and Gotti, we're going, and he looks at me and he goes, I know you from somewhere. And I go, yeah, man, you remember when you went to go to El Paso and you did all the, you did 5-Star Chick and some of those songs? I said, was that my clubs? And he was like, bet, that's where it was.
That's crazy.
But the takeaway from that was Gotti now doesn't even have management. He's doing it on his own,
wow,
right? Millions and millions is bringing people in. And so you don't have to follow the traditional labels because seeing Gotti in the last 12 years now, I guess, 12 years that I've known him, 13 years I've known him, and see where he's at now. And it comes full circle where, he's part of FaZe Clan too. He's an investor there. I'm an investor there. But you never know when that full circle comes in. But there's no traditional paths, right? You can do it in a way that you feel fit and still make it because now you got the YouTube world and the Twitch world and the Instagram and things like that, right?
Yeah, it's totally different now.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So from the 13 world to now where you're at in 21, what differences do you see that are so different that current musicians can learn from you that can really kind of get their names out as well?
Well, pretty much kind of just resorting back to the last answer, if you will, just I'm not you, you're not me, and that's fine. I'm not Kanye West, I'm not Jay-Z, I'm not, all the artists I like, but that's fine also. It's just basically finding who you are and staying true to that, to be honest with you. And if anything, not just music, if you want it bad enough, you'll go hard for it. I used to be like the crazy guy in my crew. Like I heard stories of Kanye West going to meetings with executives and he would jump on the table and start rapping. And they'd be like, this guy is crazy. That was me. That was like, I'm still that wild, but a little toned down now, but I'm that same mentality as far as like, like if you want it, it's, it's for the taking, so I would give that same advice to anybody.
I love hearing that because there's also a maturity thing, right? The older we get, which is a weird thing to say, the more calmer you get.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because life doesn't have to move at 100 miles per hour. You don't have to keep moving. It doesn't have to be the fastest pace I can get there. You almost start to really kind of understand that it takes some time and patience, right? Was there ever a time where you're running into patience and you're like, yo, man, this isn't for me. I'm not going to do this anymore. Or you're always like, no, man, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, man. Honestly, two things. First off, Godfather's my favorite movie. I just want to say that.
Hey, dude. Yo, this is actually the photo, too. I got to prove this. This is the actual, I just thought about it, dude. There's Gotti, there's Clinton, there's me. That's the day. And then that's Daniel Souza Menu, who's our partner. He was a huge music guy. But Al Pacino's before this. And I don't have that photo, but I have this here. So that's a true story, guys.
That was the day. Okay.
Yeah, but tell me what you're saying, though.
Okay, then. Dang, ask me the question one more time.
So was there ever a time that you were like,
oh, yeah, I got you.
Yo, I don't want to do this anymore?
Yeah. So that's a real question because that's very real, and I'm a family man. Also, in 2013, my daughter just was born in 2012 December. So
beautiful.
Now it's 2021. I have a daughter and a son, and yeah, a lot of people don't know being a musician is not you don't get paid. Like it's all facade. What you see is they made it now, but the road there is not that. So there comes a time where you're like, okay, I love to do this, but everything I've done, everything you've seen me do is out of pocket, yada, yada, yada. Is this going to, start to pay off, So it comes with that, and I've always, like I said, I've been the person to adapt. I've never, ever used my family or my kids as an excuse, their motivation, if anything, So I felt that many times where it's just like, this is rough, but I've never, given into that, succumbed to that because then what? I feel like I'm for sure, I tell my friends, I'm at the point of no return for sure. Like, I'm not going to be the guy where you're like 20 years from now, like, hey, remember that guy Lavell was there, went to our school, happened to him? No, that's, and I'm the kind of person that's like, I don't want to be 20 years from now, like, what if I went hard, like all the way, what if? And 20 years from now, if I don't get where I want to, then honestly, on a lower level, I'm already living the dream I've wanted to when I was a kid, so I appreciate that. But if, in 20 years, if I'm not to like the big status level where I like to be, as long as I stayed true and went hard and did what I'll be fine. I'll be solid, so I don't know if I got kind of off subject with the question, but
no, not at all. I think that's beautiful, man. Cause like a lot of people don't realize like we talk about Kentucky Fried Chicken, like Colonel Sanders was literally 60. Right. Mm-hmm. He was flat broke 60. And then that's what he did, what he had to do. Right.
That's crazy. Yeah.
People don't realize that like age is such a dang perception. Like by my 20s, I got to succeed. And by my 30s, I mean, you got Samuel L. Jackson who didn't come in until like his 50s when he really started acting. Like that's what people don't seem to really understand. It's a process and it's a time. And if you keep moving forward with it, the only way you can fail is if you stop. Right. But what is success? Right. What is success to you and everyone else is different versions of success. Right. I think that matters. And I think you have your perspective completely on point. Is there a favorite song? What is your favorite song that you've ever written that meant the world to you and why?
This is so like generic answer, but it has to be this song. I wrote a song for my daughter called Lavell Jones. And I released it on her birthday when she was 3. And we did a music video and she's in it and everything. She's 8 now. So she's watched it, like on her birthday, we watch it. And, but that one is just like, because that one means the most, like, and X amount of years when I'm no longer here and my daughter's shit, that's going to mean like the world to her, even before that, but so that's like, but that's what I'm on. Like, music that means something, and I'm not all about, it's not all going to be conscious. Like, I'm not always going to be trying to preach to people. That's not my thing, I'm really good with the balance of it. There has to be a balance of where you're not just speaking bullshit, but you're also, it also has a message and it's also catchy and yada, yada, yada. So, but that's probably my favorite or the most, close to me, that one right there.
Dude, I think that's the most beautiful and true answer, man. Like, I don't have a kid, unfortunately, yet, but I have my niece, and man, I have never felt that type of love. Like, I can't, what I'm talking about, but yeah. it changes you and it humbles you and it makes you reflect on how to be a better person.
Yeah, perspective.
Right. It's real perspective, and like you're having a bad day, they run over, they give you a hug and kiss, and like there's no more bad day.
They don't know what's going on.
No, they have no idea because it's just real love, man. I think that you wrote that song, man, and it's a hit, man. I'll tell you, it's a beautiful song, and it means so much to her, and the fact that you put the legacy behind it, man. I think that's the fast track and the right track of the things that you're doing.
Thank you.
You talk about some other ventures that you're looking at. What else are you looking at doing?
Honestly, what I do full time is trade Forex. So that's like something I'm trying to eventually combine the two worlds in a way. Cause I'm big on, like when I talk to some of my friends, I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that just, start preaching about this or whatever. And they're like, isn't this the rapper guy? But if you listen to my music, you will know that Lavell Jones has done some higher level shit. I'm not just, it's definitely more than just one avenue. So just like you have, I'm not trying to put your business out there, but I'm pretty sure you have multiple streams of income, from different things. That's what I'm, it's not all situated out just yet, but I'm definitely, the seeds are planted, things are growing. Like you said, Ride 10, how it took 6 years for that. I have certain things that are on that kind of path also, so music's always been to me the foot in the door, but definitely way more, so.
That's smart, man. Like a lot of our athletes that join here, a lot of our partners are like that. There's a time when it's over. That's it. Like then you have to find who you are as a person and as a man. Right. And for us as men, it's always evolving. Like it's not, I say this actually, like women say, they're compared to Barbie. I'm like, dude, we have to like He-Man, and like He-Man is cock diesel. Like this, that cat is way too big. Right. And you have to always fight and hunt. But to hear that you're planting these seeds in different areas, that's super interesting. What got you interested in Forex?
Actually, one of my friends, his name's Ricky. He actually is a big time guy in Forex, like the Forex world and all this. I would just hang out with him, and we would do different business ventures with the music. And eventually, just I just got into it. One day, I just texted him like, "Bro, I'm trying to learn this because like I said, I have a family. I have bills to pay and yada yada yada." And I see the life he was living. I was like, "Time out. I'm cool with the music, but let's work on this." So got me in that, and that's been really life changing, to be honest with you. So that's been that was my avenue in there.
Yeah, I love that, man. So I spoke at South by Southwest last 2 years before, obviously this year, and one of it was I called it a corporatepreneur, and I was like entrepreneur in corporations. Well, most of my life I worked at a firm or a company, and I ran my own business at the same time, right? So because my businesses were my passion, like your music, but I still had to pay the bills and eat, and I always say, like, your plate, whatever it is that you're grateful for, and you have that perspective, man. And I think that's super great because you still can do both. So you can always do both if you choose to do both, right? And still raise kids, right? And still have friends,
no excuses,
right? And still make calls to get PBS. There are no excuses. It's just a matter of will. Where you grew up here in El Paso, would you say that, like, the city itself, how's that helped shaped you and your music and things that you've done?
The city itself, just the culture, honestly. El Paso is not known for the music as far as the scene of music. So a lot of people are always kind of like, down on El
Paso. That's everywhere, man. I was like, I've driven through El Paso, or like, I'm talking to you from New York or from El Paso. Mike's been in these meetings with me, and it's just funny. But like, I always thought I'm from El Paso, and I had this big ass smile, right? Because I'm like, we're from El Paso. But tell me about that, man. How that, the music side of it?
Yeah, it's just honestly, being it's been ups and downs. I'm not the artist who's gonna be like, I'm a black artist, El Paso, so I'm not getting the shine. I mean, personally, I just feel, hey, if you're good, then you'll get, you'll come to the forefront eventually, or you'll be noticed eventually, like, for real. And and if you're not that good, and you got a good team behind you, and you can market your stuff also, then that's part of it also, But El Paso's just, I don't really know if in the music side, like, if I lived in New Orleans, I'd be like, oh, that's all of my music, New Orleans culture, because El Paso doesn't really hit the music culture like that. So it's kind of, I'm not a blockage right there or whatever, but I can't really say that El Paso has hit the music side, but it's hit me, and I'm the person creating the music. So that intertwines in that case, But
well, I get that. I'm a Chinese guy from El Paso, man. So I get that all day long, man. And that's what I love about the city, right? It's just living proof. It doesn't matter if you're El Paso or where you're at. Do you like the grind's the grind?
Exactly.
That's the way you have to do it. 5 years from now, where do you yourself be? Where do you hope to see yourself be?
Man, that's a great question. I definitely see myself being all the way financially free, which I want to do. Be before that for sure. I definitely just see my music touching as many people as possible. Being able to have bigger opportunities. Because personally, I felt like I'm not like the person that watches my music. Sometimes I don't listen to it, and I listen to it like months later, a year later. I see something, I'm like, dang, this is really like. So when I have more resources, and, I can call in an orchestra and like the stuff I want to do, so in 5 years, I really want to just be I'm on this level. In 5 years, I want to be 5 levels ahead. Each year I want to step it up. I want to make sure that, it's, I just stay myself, and I just, feed my family. That's really what's important to me, to be honest with you.
Dude, I love to hear those intentions. And I like asking people that question, because it gives you a good visual on why you're still doing what you're doing, right? Like the 5 years from now, the 1 year from now, I always tell people, like, if it doesn't matter in 3 years or 5 years from now, then it doesn't matter. In other words, pettiness and goes like that. But if you're focused on those 5 years, you at least know what your long-term goal is, and you can then do that. If there's one piece of advice that you can give everyone and our listeners, what would that piece of advice be?
That piece of advice would be the best advice. The person you listen to the most is your heart, to be honest with you, that gut feeling, that chance you want to take, that you're scared to take, that could change everything for you, period. That could be the altering factor in your life, and that could be the scariest thing, but it could be the best thing for you. So sometimes I tell myself that, I'm not just trying to be like the guy that says it and doesn't do it myself. So that would be the best advice I can give to anybody, just that. I
love it, man. Lavell, give us your social media handles and where they can find your music at.
Yeah. Everything's just Lavell Jones. So Lavell, and then Jones, LavellJones.com, Lavell Jones on Instagram, Lavell Jones on Twitter, Lavell Jones Spotify, Lavell Jones, iTunes Music. Voila.
I love it, man. Thanks for coming and visiting me,
Thank
man.
you for having me. For real.
David Chen and Panoramics Podcast, Lavell Jones. Stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you guys soon.
Check it out.